Real estate agents, today we're going to be diving into how to add on extra 2 listings per month, the value first listing acquisition system utilizing paid advertising. I'm going to diving into the math as well as how to make that happen, a couple of things that you need to understand when it comes to paid advertising in order to scale your real estate business. If you're new to the channel, my name is Eetu Häkkinen. I'm the founder and CEO at Mescula, a real estate growth agency revolutionizing the way how real estate agents across the US and Canada acquire listings by implementing the AI-enhanced value-first listing acquisition system. And on this channel, I'll show you how to build predictable and scalable listing acquisition systems so that you can close extra 12, 24, 36, or even more listings per year. And if you're already a subscriber, welcome back, thank you. And that being said, let's dive in. So let's dive into the numbers behind adding on extra 2 listings per month through the value first listing acquisition system utilizing paid ads. First, the 20% in-person appointment to listing conversion rate, that's the average. That may seem like it's low because you're probably going into a listing appointment and signing papers with every single one or every other one. And that's most likely because you're working with referrals, sphere of influence, or like quote unquote warm leads. And when it comes to paid ads, it's a slightly different process. A few things to take a note on. And on later videos, I'm going to be diving into this number here and why it is 20% on average and not like 50%, 70%, 80%, 90% as you probably used to, and why that's actually a great thing. And that being said, tune in on those later videos because that's what we're going to be diving into someday. However, right now, I'm just going to go through the math behind adding on 2 extra listings per month and then a couple other things to take a note on. So if our in-person appointment to listing conversion is 20%, that would mean we need 10 in-person appointments per month in order to acquire 2 listings. And our current average conversation to in-person appointment rate is 30%, right? That means we need 33 conversations per month with potential clients, with homeowners every single month in order to set and book 10 in-person appointments per month. And knowing the current lead to conversation rate being around 33%, that means we need 101 leads per month to hit our target of 2 listings per month, right? So when it comes to this conversation rate here, a couple of things to note. So this obviously includes the conversations we have when we dial opt-in with those, as well as the ones that were booked through AI, it's a phone consultation. We have an actual phone consultation with them that includes both of them. Hence why the conversion here is quite high compared to average lead sources that you. So that's where it comes from. So 101 leads per month to hit our target. And if our target CPL, which is kind of the average that we always say, is $30 per lead, that means we need to spend $3,030 per month or 101 per day in order to generate 101 seller leads every single month in order to convert those to 33 conversations as well as to 10 in-person appointments and 2 listings per month. Hopefully this makes sense so far. Super simple math, nothing crazy, nothing fancy, just keeping it super simple, putting the stages. So we have the leads, right? So we have the leads who, basically with leads, we mean people who came from the ad, they went through a survey page, right, where they answer questions, and after that, they become a lead, right? So from these to actually conversations with you, with the agent, we have this 33% conversation rate, right? Let me take this off, boom, boom, boom. And then that means 3K into ads per month in order to hit the target. Cool. And that will get our annual spend to $36,364 per year into advertising in order to acquire 2 listings per month, month after month. And that's obviously a projection and knowing the average sales cycles, it starts slower and then it just starts to ramp up. Extra, more about that later on this video. If our average listing value is 500k, which it kind of tends to be with our customers right now, then and our commission is 2.5%, which is pretty much every single client of ours are getting 2.5% commission on the listing side, 2.5 or even 3% commission. If those are the numbers, that would mean your average listing commission is 12.5k per listing once it's closed, obviously. So 12.5k gross commission on that. And then that would mean our gross commission income target increase would be 300k per that year annually. Okay, so annual target commission income increase would be 300k because 24 listings, 2 per month times 12 is 24 times the average listing commission gets us to 300k, right? And then if your split to your brokerage is 70-30, I hope it's 70-30 or 80-20 or nothing, that would be great. Then that means your commissions that you're actually going to see from that is going to be 210,000 out of that 300k, if I did my math correctly. And that would bring our ROAS, return on ad spend, to 5.77x, which is pretty freaking cool. You put $1 in and you get 5.77 back, month after month, year after year. So pretty cool stuff. Now, here's the thing that most agents are like, are you freaking crazy? Spending $36,000 a year into advertising, into leads. That's nuts. I'm not going to spend money into advertising. And that's just BS. If you really want to build a real business and you want to build a predictable, consistent, and scalable business and listing acquisition systems, you need to spend money to acquire customers. That is how businesses work. You will spend either money or time or both, no matter what this channel is. And if you don't do paid advertising, I would highly recommend you calculate out whatever source it is that you get your customers, your listings, your deals right now, and how much time you spend in it. And then also, based on that, take on your billable hours and figure out like, okay, how much am I actually spending right now to acquire a customer? And you will be amazed, right? So 36,000 in order to get to 210 commissions after splits is, in my eyes, I would do it year after year. It's just extra money, basically. Obviously, you need to do the work. You need to put in the time in. You need to put the effort in. That's business. But I'm just always amazed when there's agents who like bragging about like, I'm not spending any money on leads. Well, good for you. Are you growing? Don't get me wrong. There's different ways also on how to acquire listings and get leads and all that stuff. But if you really simplify it and you really dumb it down and you really actually use math to figure out the cost of that acquisition, most likely you're actually already spending quite a lot of money if you just turn the time you spend into money or whatever the things are that you're doing. Also, the question that I normally like to ask is like, when it comes to paid advertising, to a certain point, it is highly predictable and consistent and scalable once you get it nailed down and you get it figured out, and then you have this well-oiled machine. But when it comes to some other sources, how scalable are those sources? There's some sources that it's cool, like you can get a couple deals from there and there, and the cost to acquire those is super low, but you aren't able to make it consistent and scalable, and that's the issue, right? You aren't really able to build a big business if you just do it that way, and that's fine. There are people who don't want to build big businesses and don't want to make a lot of money, but this video is for people who actually do want to build bigger businesses and make a shitload of money and serve people, right? Actually help people. So like, if you're one of those, then just like forget the freaking thing about like, I'm not spending any money on leads and I'm like a big boy. Just stop that. You should spend. By the way, I don't even want to think about it spending money on leads. I want to think about it as like investing into acquisition. That's like how you should think about it. Now, also, keep this in mind. This thing here, even though it's cool and you profit in the front end and you make good amount of money, it's just the front end thing. The real money is in the back end. Let me do quick thing here for you. Imagine how many deals will you get just because you got one listing? All the referrals, all the buyers, how many times they're going to transact with you again, etc. Is it going to be 2? Is it going to be 3, 4, 5? Figure out how much is that, how many deals on average you get when you get one customer, and then you can actually start to think about and calculate out your lifetime value, lifetime gross profit per customer, per client. And that will then tell you the actual profitability of your channels, of your acquisition sources, of your acquisition systems, right? And your acquisition as a whole. And then you know, like, okay, how much can I actually grow and scale? On next videos, I'm going to also be diving into LTGB to CAC ratios and all the good stuff. So you can actually figure out like how profitable is your acquisition and how much you can actually grow that and scale it up. So yes, the real money is in the back end. And I think Hormozy, you probably know Hormozy. I think he's been talking about this a lot. And I heard it multiple times from other people as well, from mentors, all the good stuff. I've seen it myself, but there's only really 2 ways to grow a business. You can either sell more, service-based businesses at least. You can either sell more, so you can get more new customers, or you can make them worth more, right? That's it, really. Sell more or worth more. And that's it. There's a few other things that you can play around with, but those are the main things to actually grow the business. And making them worth more can come from, for example, increasing your commissions when it comes to working with higher priced homes, getting to the luxury markets, etc. That's one way. It can also come from getting them to transact with you multiple times. So like that's more so like thinking about the back end. And the real money when it comes to this real client acquisition, paid advertising in real estate niche, the real money is in the back end. That's what you need to figure out. And I think, I can't remember who said this, where I heard this first time, but business owner or entrepreneur makes a sale, gets a customer to make a sale, right? Trying to figure out, like I'm paraphrasing here right now. I'm trying to remember how they said it in the first place. Nevertheless, entrepreneur, business owner, it gets a customer to make a sale. Business builder gets a sale to start a relationship, because the real money is in the back end, right? So in some cases, you don't even need to profit in the front end. However, in real estate niche, you will, unless you really suck, because it's high ticket. Now, let's type into a couple other things here. So, prospecting, lead gen, it compounds. There's this snowball effect. So when you stay consistent with lead gen and follow up every day, every week, every month 6, 7, 8, you will see the snowball starting to kick in, right? The first couple months are slow when it comes to actually the outcome that you're looking for. That's when you need to actually shift your focus from the outcome and detach yourself from the outcome and focus on the actions that will lead you to the outcome, okay? So you need to reframe what a result means in your head when it comes to first month, second month, third month, fourth month, sixth month, when you actually start running paid ads, when you start doing paid lead gen and actually building up scalable systems. Because really what you're doing there, you're building a foundation for the scale so that you can actually scale. So the first couple months are slow, and it's not only because of the leads not coming in or whatever the case may be, but there's a sales cycle that's longer in real estate niche, as we know. And in some cases, actually, unfortunately, most cases when new agents start, new clients start work with us, agents, there is a certain things that they don't know or they maybe do in a way that's not profitable for paid advertising when it comes to their sales process. So there's also the knowledge base. Most agents actually are really good at selling once they get to the table, but when it comes to the getting to the table, that's where we see a bunch of bottlenecks happening and what we need to work through first. Hence why also that the first couple months tend to be slower when it comes to the outcomes that you guys are normally looking for. So you need to reframe what those results are in the first few months, right? And you need to focus on the actions that will lead to the outcomes, right? Because eventually, at the end of the day, the outcomes that you're looking for, listings, closing, etc., those are lagging indicators. So focus on the leading indicators, right? That's what we need to focus on. And please remember, the main challenge with client acquisition through paid advertising in the real estate niche is that it is a long-term cycle coupled with being high ticket. These people are selling their homes. So not only they cost hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, as well as there's this emotional piece in it, which will in itself already increase the sales cycle and make it harder for you. It's actually quite simple, but it's harder, it's tougher. So we just need to know the right questions to ask, in what order, at what place, and then just be there, right? That's more sales stuff, more about that later. The perception of scalability can be a lot more straightforward when generating leads to sell an offer that people can decide on immediately. Think gym membership, keto treatments, e-commerce products, etc., right? When you spend money to generate sales opportunities, the stakes are higher. More risk, more reward. And before I was going to say that, I was supposed to say this, actually. When you only spending your time to prospect and acquire listings/clients, the risk feels low. And it kind of is when you think about it from a money perspective, actually putting money out. However, the risk actually can be much higher just because time is something we never get back. But now there is this fact that when you're running paid ads, you also do need to put in time. But it's just different how we put that in. But it definitely feels lower as you aren't spending any money on ads. And when you do spend money on ads to generate sales opportunities, the stakes are higher, but again, more risk, more reward. However, it will never be a steady growth curve. The first 2 to 3 months will be slow. No matter if you do it with us, if you do it with some other lead gen company or whatever the case may be, if you do it yourself, the first couple months will be slower. If not slow, right? And then it will get more consistent if your sales process dialed in. After 6, 7, 8 months, you'll be firing on all cylinders and have a well-oiled listing acquisition machine working for you. And here's what I always like to remind people. Remember to make decisions by the numbers and not your emotions. We make decisions based on data and not emotions. Every time. When you look at business, that's what you should be doing. When we're doing something new out of our comfort zone and taking higher risk, it is easy to react emotionally as opposed to objectively identifying what the true bottleneck is in your sales and marketing process. And this is a huge bottleneck. Happens to all of us. When we're doing something new and it's something that we are kind of afraid of, it's out of our comfort zone, right? And we're putting money out and we feel like we're losing the money because we aren't seeing the reward right away, right? So it's a delayed gratification. So it is really hard to objectively look at the numbers and be like, it will start to work. When you go in depth a day and you're just seeing rejection. It is hard. I acknowledge that. However, you need to be able to detach yourself from the outcome, figure out, okay, what are the leading indicators that will lead to the outcome, and then you just focus on those when it comes to getting feedback on if it's working or not, and then also like what are the actions I need to do that I can control day in, day out in order to get to the outcome eventually. Then you're just going to focus on that, and you fall in love with the process, and the process will be good to you. Here's some action items for you. No matter if you're running, if you're doing this with us, or if you do it yourself, Set a realistic but ambitious goal of how many additional listings you want to acquire from social media. Work backwards and project your numbers similar to the example scenario provided by but replace with your own stats. Okay? And if you work with us, right, then I highly recommend you use these stats. Maybe start with us a little bit smaller if you haven't been actually figuring out, like if you haven't figured out how to make online listing actually work yet when it comes to sales process, your conversion hasn't been high, then just focus on this and we will get there. But figure out a realistic goal and realistic but ambitious goal, then work backwards to project your numbers, figure out the leading indicators as well as the actions that you can control that will lead you to the outcome. Now, if you're even slightly thinking about like maybe these guys could help me out when it comes to this, then check out the description. There is a video, actually there's a link to a page where you can find this video. On this video, I go over our listing acquisition, value first listing acquisition system and how that works and 2 reasons why it works so well. And basically go check it out and figure out if it's for you or not, and then click that link that you can find here to schedule your interview with my team, and they will be able to walk you through this system and actually figure out the game plan for you and how to make it work for you if there's an alignment. So do that, go check out. I'm just literally showing you everything when it comes to that, how we're gonna install that system for you, if it makes sense. And then also, just so you know, we have worked with hundreds and hundreds of real estate agents that are literally crushing it, getting listings month over month, and just like scaling their businesses. So I highly recommend you go and click the link and schedule an interview from the page. We'll see if there's an alignment and hop on a call, talk through it, and then we're just gonna scale up together. If that's something that interests you, go check it out, click the link, go watch the video, schedule an interview. But other than that, we'll see you on the next one.